Албанија во жестока офанзива против корупцијата. Приведен поранешниот председател и премиер Илир Мета. Во исто време Албанија и жестоко напредува напред во својот евроинтегративен пат. Европската унија пак ја испрети првата дама на комисијата, Ursula Von der Leyen, на Балканот, на балканска тура, за да ги убеди балканците дека проширувањето останува во фокусот на Европската унија. Председателката Ursula Von der Leyen својата посета започна токму од Тирана, а веднаш потоа го посети и Скопје. Јас сум Кристина Атовска, добре дојдовте во уште еден лабиринт. Како што можете да забележите и од најавата денеска ќе го посветиме овој лабиринт и на нашиот сосед Албанија, каде во последно време се случија низа настани. Последно од нив беше и апсењето на поранешниот председател и премиер Ilir Meta и токму на оваа тема, но и за камповите мигрантски, за ексклузивниот договор со Италија, како и за напредокот на Албанија во незиниот евроинтегративен пат. Разговарам со мојот колега Арber Hitaj од Репорт ТВ. So we're going to start with the latest event, with the arresting of Ilir Meta. He was forcefully arrested. He's in prison at the moment, but there is some controversies about the arresting, whether the police used more force than they should or not. So let's first talk about this, let's say, technical question, because as I saw, it is a topic in Albanian media. So what is with the using of force?
You know, it was a bit shocking also for us that the ex-Prime Minister, ex-President, ex-Foreign Minister, ex-head of the parliament got arrested. So it was a shock, but to be honest with you, he had very huge accusations, and since 2018, he was investigated by the prosecutors. So everything is part of this new judiciary reform that we have in Albania, that is, let's say, very independent towards the government or towards the opposition and towards the politicians. It is supported by the United States, thanks God, and this is, I think, very crucial. And this is very important because politicians, they don't have influence at this new judiciary reform, at these new prosecutors and new judges. There are debates about the, let's say, somebody is calling a violent arrest, somebody is saying that the police just respected the law. But we haven't seen the real footages of the arrest, because recently Mr. Meta, he has been very aggressive towards the policemen, towards the prosecutors. Also, at the first trial, he menaced them. He said that you will have problem with me personally. So we don't have the other side. We have some amateur footages that we have seen, but we don't have the clear picture to say that it was violent or not. Rumors are saying that, especially from colleagues that they cover the police and the judiciary system, they're saying that Mr. Meta was very aggressive. He insulted them, he offended them, and he resisted towards the member of the police. That's why it was, let's say, from their part, it was necessary to use force. But this is not the point, in my view. This is important, but this is not the main objective that we have to discuss and we have to speak about. Because the most important thing is that in Albania, there are no people above the law. So everybody now have a clear message, have a clear signal. They have to respect the law, especially if they face charges. So I think this is the most important thing that all the politicians in Albania now, now especially, they realize that the situation is very serious. Everyone that has made mistakes, especially corruption, they will face the law. And this is very important because this is also, let's say, a bonus for Albania towards the integration in the European Union.
And his party, Freedom Party, said that there will be a lawsuit for the officer who arrested, and they said this is politically motivated. So I'm interested, what is public opinion about this, whether is justice or politically motivated issues, and public opinion and media opinion, actually, because in a way we are creating the public opinion.
Look, there is a small percentage in Albania, if you see the polls, some polls, that they think that the system, the new judicial system, is not independent. But if we see the figures, the new structure, especially of the prosecutors, that they are supported by the FBI, they got the support in general opinion in the population around 75 or 78%. So it's clear most of the people, they support this new system. They support the new head of this organization. SPAC is called Mr. Altindomani, because everybody knew him. He was a very honest prosecutor, and he is a very tough guy. And he said also when he spoke at the parliament that we will respect the law, we will respect only the law, and we will not judge from the opposition or from the government. So we will not have a political eye. Everything, it will be based on proofs and on facts. Of course, the members of Freedom Party of Mr. Meta, they will say it is politically motivated, but I think they are not honest and sincere with the public. Everything. It is guided by the prosecutors, but it is supported from the United States. So we have this huge support from the United States. That's why, for the first time, we have our ex-prime minister, ex-president. He is on house arrest, Mr. Berisha, but he is also declared non grata by the United States. And now we have Mr. Meta, our ex-prime minister, ex-president, that he is in jail. He's facing corruption accusations, but not also him, also his wife, ex-wife, sorry, because they got divorced just 3 or 4 months ago. She's facing the same accusations as him, but she is an MP. That's why they have not arrested her. But if you see we see the figures from the government, we have at least 23 officials that they got arrested, and some of them, they are facing more than 5-6 years in prison. And that's why, if we see the figures, I don't think this crusade, if I may say it in this way, is politically motivated, because most of the people that they got arrested, they are from the government. They are mayors, they are MPs, ex-ministers, ex-prime minister. So we have a very high level politicians that they are facing corruption accusations from the new judicial system. And I have to underline this. in Albania, most of the people, let's say 85%, they wanted this. They wanted a judiciary system to be independent from the government. Now we have it. Okay, somebody is saying we are proceeding in a rapid speed or in a turtle speed. This is another discussion. But I think they are working. We have to see at the end if we will succeed towards the European Union, but I think this is very, very, very important for the future of Albania.
Yes, especially if we all want EU future, we're really gonna have to put some efforts into fighting corruption, which we all know it's present here on the Balkan since I don't know how many years back. Let me ask you about one information that just came out, is that Mr. Meta tried to actually applied for asylum in Hungary, but he was denied. Do you know anything more about this? I'm asking because Hungary, it is, let's say, interesting country for high-level officials who want to leave their country in order not to face justice. That's the case with our ex-prime minister. So do you know some information about his asylum, his denied asylum, and why it was denied?
Look, in the opposite of Mr. Gruevski, Mr. Meta has not good relations with Mr. Orban. Our Prime Minister, Mr. Rama, has very good relations with Mr. Orban. But anyway, saying this, it was not true. We don't have evidence. You know it very well. I think also in North Macedonia, this happens always. We have rumors. We have also conspiracy theories, but this was not true. We don't have any evidence that Mr. Meta tried to seek asylum in Hungary or to escape, because there are also some rumors. Somebody is saying that Mr. Meta had the plan to escape, but this was not true. We don't have facts for this.
And because you mentioned a while ago Mr. Sali Berisha, another former president and prime minister of Albania, and there was a report from Ora News named Coincidence or Not, that exactly 1 year ago there were prosecution measures for Mr. Berisha. So what do you think, whether it's coincidence or not?
Look, we have to clarify one thing. Mr. Berisha, he got arrested because the judge told him you have to come every month, once per month, to be present at the judiciary that we will have at the session that we will have for your case. And Mr. Berisha said, I will not come. So he got arrested not for the accusations that he's facing, but he got arrested because he didn't respect the judge to go and to be present at the sessions that they had for him once every month. So this is not the same as Mr. Meta. Mr. Meta got arrested on accusations and he got arrested from the police. But Mr. Berisha, he got house arrest because he didn't respect the law. That's why I don't see any coincidence, because if we see the facts are not, let's say, they don't have similarities. That's why. But speaking about the coincidence or not, I have to say I can give you a fact that the order for Mr. Meta to get arrested is signed, and it has 12th of October. So more than 10 or 12 days that the police studied how to arrest Mr. Meta. That's why I don't think there are coincidences in this.
And before we move to foreign topics, his party, Mr. Berisha's party, Democratic Party, they make protests from time to time, and there were protests earlier this month or the end of the last month, and they were big as far as I could see from the pictures and videos in the media. So what is the public opinion about this? Can he gather a lot of people who don't agree with Mr. Rama's policy, or this is just their legitimate way as a party to go out and say they don't agree?
Look, the opposition here in Albania, they have a big problem. And the problem is the relations that they have with the foreigners, especially with the US embassy. Because we have to say, in 2021, Mr. Berisha was declared non grata by the United States. So, in being a Balkan country, a Balkan political party, and not having good relations with the United States, so you can imagine it's very difficult to survive politically. They have also problem with United Kingdom embassy because Mr. Berisha is declared non grata also by UK. So I think they have a very low point in diplomacy. Especially this is related with their leader, Mr. Berisha. So they have the only window to speak to Europe, the European Parliament. I think is their right. It is okay to do that, but it was not the topic to protest at the European Parliament because they are protesting against this new judiciary reform. But if we see the facts, the judiciary reform is supported by the United States and by European Union. So if you say you go in European Union and you say this reform is not good, I think is taken by the government, they will see the facts, and they, I think, is very clear. They will at the end they will trust more the facts, the reports, that the words that our politicians they will say in European Union or in European Parliament. Is they right? Nothing. I don't have nothing with that. Is they right? They can do it. They're doing it. But the problem that the opposition here has is the leader, because their leader is declared non grata. Also, his family, members of his family, they are declared non grata by the United States. And you know it better than me. Be against US politics in a Balkan country is very, very difficult to have after this good relations with the Western countries. That's why I think the position, in my opinion, I have said it also to them, they have to change the leader.
So what is obvious is that in this moment, Mr. Rama has excellent relations with international factor, as we could see in the latest events. So let's first start with the migrant camp, with the exclusive, as Mr. Rama says, deal with Italy for taking the migrants. At first, it was not so welcomed in the European Union, but then somehow they changed their mind and said that this may be one good example of how can they deal with this situation with the migrants. So first of all, what is the public opinion in Albania about this deal in general? And second, this deal is already implemented, the facilities are already made, and the first migrants arrived in Albania. And in this first tour of migrants, there were 2 or 3 persons who got back with the same ship in Italy. So why this was the case? So how it is going with the implementation so far in this past few days? What is going on with the migrants and with the procedure of taking the migrants? Is everything okay and by the book so far?
Let's say some facts in the beginning. Italy will transfer to Albania immigrants who wants to reach the EU via the Mediterranean Sea, and this camp is already functional. It's 100%. This camp is managed by the Italian government. Security, health check, and everything is controlled by them. Albania has the right to check and control the outside part. So the numbers, if we speak about numbers, it is constructed as a camp to have more than around 3,000 immigrants per month, and not more than 3,000. So let's say per 1 year, it is supposed to have around 36,000 immigrants in 1 year. So they will stay here for 1 month or 2 months. Then they will have the response that they will be ready to have the asylum permission or not. In the beginning, it was a bit shock because, as I said for Mr. Meta, because Mr. Rama spoke about it with nobody. He had a press conference with Madame Meloni in Rome, and it was out of the blue. You know, he said we will construct this camp and so on. It was a bit shocked, but after that, people saw the facts. Everything started to be more quiet because we saw the facts that everything will be it will be very high security camp. The immigrants that we stay there, they will not be allowed to go out of the camp. It is kind of a remote place, so it is not in. It is in mid-center of Albania, but it is a kind of remote part. It was an old military base. So after that, people start to get more quiet, especially people in Jadar, is in Leja. They are Catholic. Their religion is Catholic, and they were in the beginning a bit worried because most of the asylum seekers they will come from Muslim countries, so they were worried in the beginning. But after that, things started to be quiet now. It was this decision from the courts in Rome to suspend the coming of the immigrants from Italy. For the moment, we don't have any immigrants at this camp because of this decision. But as I followed the Italian media, Madame Meloni will sign a decree that she will fix this problem. And we will have maybe next month immigrants from Italy. I don't have, look, I can say it will be good, I can say it will be bad. I don't know it. I don't know how it will go in the future. For the moment, I have my doubts because I don't like this lack of transparency. We need transparency. The government is the government of Albania. We are not the Albanians of the government. So for this very kind of important decision, the government has to speak to the public, not towards from Rome, but they have to speak to Albanian public from Tirana. But saying this, I don't want to judge it. I don't want to judge it. I will have to see how it will goes, and then I will have a clear opinion. It is good or it is bad. But the only problem that this agreement had and still has is the lack of transparency.
And Mr. Rama said it will be exclusive deal, and he will not make this kind of deals with other countries. And we know, and you mentioned that Italian government is taking care of the migrants, and they are paying for the camp. So, if it's okay, why then to be exclusive only with one country?
Because we have tourism. You know, we cannot. Our main industry now is agriculture. Okay, after agriculture is the tourism, so we cannot put in danger the image of Albania. I think this exclusive agreement was the kind of favor that Mr. Rama did to Madame Meloni and to her government, and also to the Italian people, because Mr. Meloni was in a real struggle with immigrants, and Italy still is. But that's why I think this will be only exclusive with Italy, because we cannot take immigrants from Germany, from UK, because they are immigrants that they want to go there. But the immigrants that are leaving Syria or Libya or wherever North America, North Africa, they go to Italy, but their objective is not to stay in Italy. Their focus is to go in European Union. That's why, for this reason, Mr. Rama has said that he did this agreement with Madame Meloni. But as I said, I think this was more a personal favor, not a political motivated favor.
My dear colleague, at the end, of course, what is most important for our countries and our region is EU future. So it looks like the international community acknowledged Mr. Rama actions as good, or maybe his friends inside the European Union somehow helped Albania to move forward and to get another green light to start opening some of the things that need to be done and to start talking. At first, we were connected together in a package, but after our last problem with Bulgaria, and after Albania fulfilled some demands from European Union, they decided practically to break this package and to give green light only for Albania. On the other hand, we have this well-known situation that enlargement will not happen until 2030. So what are your expectations after this latest news from the European Union? And at the moment, nowadays, also the President of the European Commission, Ms. Von der Leyen, is in her Balkan tour. And actually, Tirana was her first stop the day after she was here in Skopje. But what were the messages that she addressed, that she said in Tirana, and how do you see this green light, and what about the expectations of finalizing the entrance in the European Union? And I'm asking this in a context that nowadays, I mean, now there is a new majority in the European Parliament that leans toward a right, and between them there are countries who don't agree with enlargement policy at all.
Look, we have to say some facts in this regard. I think that Albania, because of the history, because of our past, also because of our present, we have more opportunities than the other neighbors, our friends, our colleagues in the region to be part of European Union before 2030. Why I'm saying this? If we see the challenges that the region is facing, if we see Serbia, if we see Montenegro, if we see also North Macedonia, they have problems with the neighbors. They are not problems caused by them, most of them, but they have problems. Serbia has problem with Kosovo, but Serbia has problem also. It is part of EU, it is part of the West, or it is part of the East. Everybody knows that Serbia has a foot in Russia and they want to have a foot in Brussels. Everybody knows. Mr. Christopher Hill, the ambassador of the United States in Serbia, I met him a few years ago when he was in Albania, and he was very clear. He was one of the people that he was a kind of architect of Daytona Agreement in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So he knows the region very well. If we see also Montenegro, they have problems with their Serbian influence. So every 1 or 2 years, they are at the brink to have chaos and they have huge protests from the church, Serbian church. So they have huge problems. Not everyone in Europe, they want imported problems. They have their own problems. If you see Albania, we don't have problems with our neighbors, zero problems. Our main problem that we have is corruption. This new judiciary system, they are fighting it.
What about Greece? Is everything fine now between Albania and Greece?
Yes, it is, because it was not a kind of government problems or people problems. It was a problem because a guy that came from Greek minority in the south, he was a candidate for the city as the mayor of city of Himara, and he got arrested because he bought votes. And the Greek, they were saying that okay, we know that, but you have to release him to make the to be a mayor, and then you can put him again in jail. So this was the case. It was crazy and stupid, but it was a case. For 1 year, Greece blocked the opening of negotiations. But we have had also in the past problems with Bulgaria, not like you, but the
Yes.
Bulgarians, the government of Bulgaria, Mr. Borisov at the time, he wanted that the Albanian government recognize officially a Bulgarian minority. It is a very small minority of Bulgarians, but they are saying they are not Bulgarians. They are saying that they are from North Macedonia. So it is not clear what they are. But anyway, our government decided to agree with Bulgaria, and we have officially a Bulgarian minority in Albania.
Yes, we were following this situation, and it is clear because that Macedonian minority exists in Albania in some parts of Albania for years. That they have organizations, political party, and again, Bulgarians, with their pressure and their power they have as a member state of the European Union, they in a way tried to make all of this population not Macedonian but Bulgarian, and in a way they succeeded with this latest census that we saw, that all the majority of the Macedonian population took Bulgarian passports and said that they
Same happened here.
Bulgarian,
That's
but
why they wanted this Bulgarian minority. It was not right, but we have made this sacrifice, and now we don't have issue with anybody.
so let's get back to the topic of European Union. You mentioned the one and only problem now Albania has is the corruption. So what about the expectations? And you also mentioned that you all believe in this prosecution, in SPAC. So these things combined together, what is your assessment when Albania will be in full part of the European Union?
Look, I cannot say because it is not easy, especially we have situation in Ukraine. But I think if we see the problems that our friends in the region they got, I think we are the only country that we have a lot of potential to be part of European Union before 2030. Also, Madam von der Leyen, also Mr. Charles Michel, when he was head of the council a few months ago, he said that if we will not have unblocked integration in European Union, at least one country will be part of European Union as a full member before 2030. That's why I think if we see the reports, Albania has fulfilled all the criteria. Zero problems with the neighbors, zero problems with, let's say, ethnical other issue. So we have zero problem with religion, because in some parts it is a problem, especially in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Also in Montenegro, this Serbian church interfere often in they have this fight with the Montenegrin church. You know, Serbia has huge problems. You have problems with Bulgaria, which is very serious because they are adopting your roots. You know,
Exactly.
Kosovo has problem with Serbia, and not only. That's why I think we are the only country that we have huge potential, because our problems are they are created by us, and it is very easy for us to fix our problems. But if we see North Macedonia, if we see Serbia, Montenegro, they are problems that they cannot be resolved by them. That's why I think we have a lot of potential.
That's right. Thank you very much for this calling from Tirana, and we all cheer for that to get Albania into EU as soon as possible, and the rest of us, of course, because we all see our future in the European Union and not in some other pacts. So thank you very much for this conversation, and we will stay in touch if something else happens in our region, and if there are more good news from Albania about EU, then I will reach out again.
Christina, thank you very much for having me. First of all, it's a really pleasure. I felt very comfortable with you.
Glad to hear that.
Let's hope we will meet, and let's hope we will talk again for positive things. You know, our region
Right.
in the past, especially, has not been, let's say, so positive with events. But let's be positive and let's think for the future. Thank you.
Yes.
It's about time. Thank you very much once again. Ден по посетата на Тирана, председателката на Европската комисија Урсула Фон дер Лајен го посети Скопје како дел од нејзината балканска турнеја, со која треба да ги убеди балканците дека проширувањето останува во фокусот на Унијата. Одржа средби со нашиот премиер Христијан Мickoски, потоа следеше една заедничка пресконференција на која не беше оставен голем простор за новинарски прашања, на која не беа дадени некои конкретни одговори. Премиерот Mickoski рече дека ќе продолжи да дискутира и двајцата не одговорија за предлогот од наша страна за тоа дали е можно уставните измени да се донесат со одложено дејство.
Потребно е да работиме, потребно е да работиме напорно за да дојдеме до целта, а целта е регионот и ние бидеме дел од европското семејство и Европската унија. Ние како влада ќе продолжиме и понатаму да ги споделуваме европските вредности, ќе направиме се што е потребно од наша страна да ја доближиме Европската унија до граѓаните, нешто што представува и задача наша, но и желба, бидејќи повеќе од 75% од граѓаните иднината ја гледаат токму како дел од европското семејство. Јас како прв човек на владата ќе продолжам да работам исклучиво во интерес на граѓаните и тоа што за нив представува прв приоритет, а нивен прв приоритет е истовремено да живеат подобро, да владае правото, да се постигнуваат реформи, европските вредности да бидат дел од нашето секојдневие, но истовремено да бидат зачувани гордоста, достоинството, да не бидат понижени и да не бидат поразени.
Ние ќе помогнеме да се спроведе обврската што Северна Македонија ја презаде како суверена земја во секој дел од патот. За мене мощно е важно тоа што имаме јасна цел, работам колку што можам за да можеме да ги отвориме преговорите за кластерот фундаментални вредности, тоа е нашата краткорочна цел за сега и уставните промени треба да се разработат. За мене тоа е важно е и е во интерес на Северна Македонија да бидеме успешни и затоа сакам да ве уверам дека ќе бидеме со вас на секој дел од патот за да стигнеме до заедничката цел. Може да сметате на нас и мене ми е навистина важно да не се вртиме многу наназад, туку да гледаме кон иднината и сакаме да го пишуваме следното поглавје од нашата заедничка иднина заедно.
Ви благодарам за вниманието со кое не следевте. Се гледаме повторно следната недела. Довидување.